Thank you, Shashiji, for your kind words of introduction. Chief guest for today's event, Dr. J.N. Chamber, IAS and Secretary Retired Government of India, Ram Sarvaji, other distinguished members of the Indian community. Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, a very good evening to all of you. It is a great honor and privilege for me to participate here in the 134th birth anniversary celebration of Bharat Ratna Baba Saheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I would like to thank Dr. Ambedkar Educational Aid Society, Fremont, for inviting me to participate in this event. As all of you are aware, Dr. Ambedkar is the father of our Indian Constitution, which has entered into force on 26 January 1950. Since the past 74 years of our India becoming a republic after entry into force of the Constitution, so it has served India well in its social and economic progress. Despite the diversity and the complexity of India, as you are aware, in India, now we have a huge population of 1.4 billion and we have so much diversity socially, especially we have people practicing almost all religions in the world. We have so much ethnic diversity, we have so many different races, and we also have a lot of various castes and also tribes living in various parts of India. So the Constitution is a fundamental document of India which has served in the social and economic progress of India. As you know, India is a largest democracy and it will continue to serve India very well. Coming to Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, as you know, he struggled a lot and faced a lot of caste discrimination when he grew up, but despite his whatever hardships he faced, he strived very hard, especially in education. As you're aware, he came to US, he studied in Columbia University and he also did PhDs both from Columbia University and also London School of Economics. So, Ambedkar, he laid great emphasis on education because all of us who are sitting in this room, we are here because of our education. So we have a lot of people back home in India who don't have this privilege of education, like we had the access to education because some of our grandparents or parents decided to move from the villages, come to cities and put us in some good schools so that we got good education and we are in decent positions and making a decent living. But I'm happy to see especially people who are here who formed this Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Educational Aid Society. Already I heard that you already supported 1,000 students back home in India. So I'm very happy to know that. I also encourage all the members of the Indian diaspora here present in this room because you are very successful because of your hardworking innovation and entrepreneur spirit in the US. But I think you also have a responsibility to give back to India, like some of the members of this education society already you're supporting a lot of Indian deserving students who cannot afford to have quality access to education. I think each one of you who cannot provide monetary support, we can, especially now we have these digital tools, we have this virtual technology available, you can mentor some of the students back home here in your hometowns or in your college where you have studied, so that they can also aspire and develop the confidence. Like Ram Sarvaji given a nara, हम किसी से कम नहीं है, so that kind of confidence you can instill by mentoring the students back home in India so that they can aspire to be a good citizen in India and also they can also become a good citizen of the world. They can also try to come and also study and also work in US and other countries. And coming to the initiatives of the government of India, because I am in the Silicon Valley, I would like to mention about some of the recent initiative, especially the digital tools the government of India is using to bring socio-economic empowerment and inclusion among the Indian population. As you are aware, the government of India has invested a lot in the digital public infrastructure. So this digital public infrastructure is nothing but it comprises of three verticals. One is a digital identity. You must have heard about Aadhaar card, which is a 12-digit identity with biometrics linked. So, and second thing is Jan Dhan accounts. Like Government of India has opened bank accounts for all the people who were earlier not having accounts. So, Government of India has opened 500 million bank accounts the last 6-7 years. So now all the people, marginalized people, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, almost everybody has bank accounts. So using the mobile phone, so the bank accounts using the digital identity, they are linked to the mobile phone using the apps. We have a lot of apps. India has developed this unique unified payment interface wherein the phone are linked with the bank accounts and you can make transactions without going to the bank, especially using the QR code mechanism. And there is also a data exchange where data can be shared with data production. So with this digital public infrastructure, now there is a significant transformation happening in India, especially like earlier one of our Prime Minister famously remarked, if $1 was sent from Delhi, only 17 cents used to reach the beneficiary in the villages. Now using these digital tools, the Government of India is directly transferring whatever eligible amount, including subsidies to the beneficiaries, to the direct benefit transfer. So this has saved a lot of pilferage in the middle, and now the beneficiaries are getting their due, especially the most vulnerable sections, and also all the people who are marginalized, poor, they are using these digital tools to enter into the larger market, because somebody is a small business owner or a farmer, so he can check where he can sell the produce or where he can sell the product, because with this digital tools now he can simply offer his whatever products or services to anywhere in India. Even in fact they can also use this platform to export. So this is a significant thing, because this is providing a lot of opportunities for the especially the aspirational youth, especially India. As you know, we are a youthful nation with the average age is 28 years, so which is driving innovation and growth. I think the digital infrastructure created by the government is helping, and we are also trying to replicate this digital public infrastructure in many other countries like Africa, wherein we can also serve the underprivileged communities in the global south. So I thought I would like to mention this recent initiative, which is also this is under the even the artificial intelligence. The government, we have this artificial intelligence for all. We are also using the artificial intelligence apps, tools for the social inclusion and economic growth. And for example, recently government has launched last year an app called Kisan Chatbot. So all the farmers who are marginalized living in the villages, they can get the information about the government subsidies, or they can also have information about the weather, and accordingly they can decide on the cropping pattern, and also they can shift the crops depending on the demand, and also how much produce, how much price they can get in the local markets. So I think these kind of initiatives are really game changing for the poor and vulnerable segments in the Indian society. And also government recently has made all the important places associated with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as Tirth stars, like the pilgrimage centers, especially his birthplace in Mo has been it is a Janmabhoomi, and he got educated. He stayed in a house in London. So government has purchased this recently, and this is has been named as the Shiksha Bhoomi, and where Dr. B.R. Ambedkar took his Diksha to convert into Buddhism, it was named as a Diksha Bhoomi. And the fourth one is where he attained, where he passed away in Delhi. It is called Mahaparniva Bhumi, where we also have this Ambedkar Memorial, which is also constructed in the form of a book to reflect the Indian Constitution. And also the Chaitya Bhumi, where Dr. Ambedkar was cremated, was also is a good pilgrimage center. So government has developed these 5 centers as a pilgrimage centers for all Indians to visit and learn more about Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, his philosophy of social justice and equality, so that people can get inspiration and also make all of them to remain united. And also because Ambedkar, whenever he mentioned his aim is to keep India united, so that where all the Indians can live happily, peacefully, with equal opportunities, and also so that everybody can prosper. So that is the aim of Ambedkar ji. And even government now, it has created a lot of Ambedkar centers in over 31 universities, which are offering coaching to the civil services, like somebody can join the IAS or foreign service. So the aspirational students can get free coaching from these centers. But also government has set up a lot of Ambedkar chairs in various universities, where the philosophy of Ambedkar and his ideas can be discussed, and also like it can be propagated using those Ambedkar chairs in various universities. So I think Ambedkar is an inspiration for all of us, not only in India, but also not only for the Indian community, but is also a source of inspiration for the other people in other countries, especially the marginalized and vulnerable sections of the population in the world. So I'm thankful for the Ambedkar Educational Aid Society for organizing this event to commemorate his birth anniversary. And thank you very much for your patience. Jai Bhim, Jai Hind. Thank you.